Welcome to the latest edition of Millennial Boom with Diane Faith and Stanley Roberts, where almost no subject is off limits. Now, here are your hosts, Boomer Diane Faith and Millennial at heart, Stanley Roberts.
And we are actually live. Hello.
Hi guys.
Oh, look. It
Happy
did it again.
Sunday.
It changed it again. Lame.
Is it when the screen goes off?
Yeah. We had it all set up, and then, of course, let me see the iPad. Stay with us for a second.
Hi guys. So we had a background and it was us on it, and now it's not.
Yeah, we had it all set up. It was beautiful. It was all Christmassy. And then, of course, as Mother Nature, there we go.
Happy Hanukkah, Gabriel.
Happy Chanukah.
What's up, Parrish? William says, I'd like Stanley and Diane to start this live stream off with a Jingle Bells duo.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, well, William, it's always nice to be able to wish.
Hello. So, yeah, we tried to put us in the background, but as you can see, we're not very good in the background. We're kind of blown out, but it's a Millennial Boom picture.
I feel like I'm hella blown out.
We both are. It's okay. Just trying. We tried. It is what it is. So bear with us. So what? You control your TV from your iPad? Yes, we can. So we can switch it to YouTube, which I will. I will go back to my YouTube channel. So stay with me while I go back to the way we like it. And
What, with the fireplace?
yeah, exactly.
Oh, I like our faces in the background,
Yeah,
but I guess you can't really see them, our faces.
Blown out, yeah. So we've been working with this new thing now. It's a new feature. We can plug up the TV set. I just got to type in whatever I want to, and then there we go. And then we just go back to my account, and then we look for what we had before. Oh, look! You can see all this as I scroll through it.
No, they can't.
Okay.
It went back to the YouTube TV screen, I think.
Yay! All right. Anyway, so until we get it all straight up in stratosphere. Hello, welcome.
Oh no, Parrish, you've been getting an average of 3 hours of sleep a night. That's not a lot. Interesting. Are you doing anything differently that could impact your sleep, perhaps?
I wonder, what is he doing to impact your sleep?
Hi, Cynthia.
Welcome, everyone. Sorry, we were trying to.
What's up, D-Man?
D-Man. Yeah, so there you go.
You know what, Gabriel? I did not. So he wrote, so tell me, Diane, did you go back and watch the episode from November 15, 2020 to hear about the puppetry of the...
She looked for it.
So I did. I tried looking for it when we got off from last week's podcast. When I went back, I was hitting up like March of 2020, May of 2020. So I had to like manually scroll to find November. And I got to a point where I was like, okay, I'm just going to look for it later. And then I forgot. So I did search for it, but I did not find it. And then when I never thought to go back and look. So thanks for the reminder. I'll do it after this podcast, hopefully, if I do not forget. Parrish says, I've tried sleeping hard, but a lot of time I might not get into deep sleep, although I did survive work and long driving. Just don't panic. If I panic, then fatigue will get worse. Okay, yeah. So you might, if you're going through like a lot of work and stress and stuff, that definitely would have an impact. Hopefully you have a way to kind of like wind down at night before you go to sleep. Like if you're just coming home from work, eating dinner or something, and then going right to bed without like having a routine to wind down, that could be working against you. So maybe just try developing a routine if you don't have one already. I know you didn't ask me for my advice, but there's the unsolicited advice.
Yeah. Guess what? They asked me for a code. We didn't have a code.
Oh
well.
Okay. Well, that's now on the screen.
No, I'll fix it.
Oh, okay.
I'll fix it. So you guys keep talking.
Good evening, Terrence.
Hold on. Keep talking. Alexa.
D-Man says,
YouTube.
Natsnaman.
To control a video device with your voice, you need to connect it first.
Oh, God.
Alexa, quiet. Hey, Google TV.
Okay.
Hey, Google. Turn on YouTube.
You know, sometimes with these smart TVs, I'm just like, I don't even. I would rather. I'm old school. That's why I'm the boomer. I would rather just be able to turn it off with a button, change the channel with a button. Oh, now Stanley got up. Okay.
I got up because I'm trying to fix it. Give me a second. Welcome to when we don't have a whole bunch of teams and people doing stuff for us. We do it ourselves.
Parrish says tell Alexa to go to bed.
I know, huh?
I know. Did you guys notice? Even before we started trying to do like the TV as the background, we at some point, even in Phoenix, had her interrupting us during our podcast. She would usually tell us like, turn on the Christmas, not like Christmas lights, but she would ask if we wanted to turn on like certain lights, like we have strip lights or Christmas lights. So on in the background right now is the Eagles Cowboys game.
Yeah, but
Gabriel says just turn the thing off.
I know, huh?
I mean, we could do that too. Yeah, I mean, I don't care whether or not it's in the background. I don't think anybody else minds either.
Yeah. We just try to pull it up again like we did before. There we go. We'll just do this.
He wants his fireplace, so not fireplace, Yule log.
Yeah. Well, at least you know that works. There we go.
Just pick one that doesn't go to commercials.
Yeah, at this point, I'm just gonna pick anything. All right, I'm back.
Yes, Cynthia, Niners won. That was a good game. We did watch it earlier.
All right.
And we celebrated I celebrated by going for a walk afterwards.
All right, we're back. Sorry about that. So
thanks, Big Bucks.
Thank you, Big Bucks. That was changed for the TV being on. And yeah, go. I'm gonna say go Cowboys because if they win, then the 49ers become first place, right? Yeah. Well, at least for you anyway. Steelers.
I love that you're also representing the Niners with me.
Hey, but if you notice, our title is Gatekeepers Are Everywhere. Your TV is on fire. Put it out. Call 911. Yes, it is on fire. So we don't know what channel we have on. It might be a commercial, but we hope not. We'll see. We'll just play it by ear. But and
then you can see it in the reflection of the window again too. That's kind of cool.
So is gatekeeper one or two words?
I think it's one word.
All right, that's fine. We'll just go with gatekeepers because there's a reason why we wrote this, and we're going to come to this in a minute. So if you are paying attention, I'm going to give you a moment where you want to record what I'm going to talk about because I want to make sure that everybody hears it and it doesn't get caught up in just this giant podcast, but people can hear it. And it's something that took place in the last couple of days. It's going on for a few weeks, but now it kind of culminated with something that I found out. So, and we'll talk about it in general and in specifics. But welcome to Millennial Boom. I'm Diane Faith. That's Stanley Roberts.
Oh my gosh, if I was really Stanley Roberts.
You'd have a great haircut. By the way,
you look bald.
I found that that's funny because everybody doesn't know that I'm not actually bald.
Remember because you normally wear a baseball cap to the podcast.
But I'm letting my head be because I have to give a speech tomorrow. So I want to make sure that when I give my speech, it's like...
He wants to make sure he looks sexy.
No. I just want to make sure I look professional. Anyway, so...
Felix says, hello, Uncle Stanley. Where's my Christmas gift? Oh my gosh, Felix, you sound like... You
heard that? There it was again.
You sound like my relatives.
Exactly.
I'm called Santa Claus.
Yeah. Oh, but it still reminds me of my little... every time I think about the little girl and when she's with my beard and I hat on.
Yeah.
Santa Claus.
You look like Santa Claus.
I mean, I am not Santa Claus. I don't live in North Pole, but though it does feel like North Pole here sometimes.
Because it's cold?
Oh, it'd be cold. It'd be windy and it'd be cold.
Thanks, Dave Man.
What did Dave Man do? Thank you, Dave Man. Appreciate it.
Oh, you can't see it?
No, I don't see it.
Oh, there you go. I don't have
Yeah, I see it now.
There you go. Parrish says I'm bald too. I got my haircut. Oh, maybe you're bald. I got my haircut yesterday. Nice.
So I found the new barber nearby, and she did a good job. And she talked me through the whole process about how it's better to shave it with an electric razor than it is with a straight razor. So that was fun.
You're very handsome.
Says, boy, is Facebook being weird tonight. Thank you. The comments on the Facebook live stream aren't showing on the chat.
My compliments just going
I said thank you.
Oh, okay.
Wow. So what's new? Missing 2 weeks. No, we were here last week and we're having fun. Yes, I do see your comment, Gabriel. It says Facebook test, does this comment show on screen? Yes, it does. So we can see it.
Yeah, I see it, Gabriel.
So, two things. First of all, we've been fighting with this new TV. It's a new Sony, and it's been having its own mind of its own. So we may have to replace it with a newer one because that one is having a little bit of a technical meltdown. It's a smart TV, but it has a lot of dumb actions right now.
I'm so old school.
So
I'm like, I don't need the smarts.
So the remote stopped working, and then when I called them up to tell them the remote didn't work, the remote started working again. You know, typical, like you take your car to the shop and tell them it's making a noise, going, and then you get there,
and then there's no noise.
Then you get there, and there's no noise. Yeah, exactly. So that's what it is. So I've been on the phone with Best Buy, and they are going to probably swap it out, which is a pain because we got to pull this one out, pull the new one out.
It was really a pain setting up that new one because we had to be super careful.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
So you ready to talk about gatekeepers?
Sure, why not?
All right. So if you are here and you want to listen to this and you want to repeat this on Twitter, you might want to record it now because that way you don't have to look for it later.
I have no idea what you're going to say.
You have no idea.
I have no idea what he's going to say, by the way. I'll just be sitting here listening.
You can chime in because it'll be enough for you to chime in and you'll listen. So you do know what I call a gatekeeper, right?
Let me get a sip of water first because I'm bracing
myself. That's either you shake your head yes or no. Doesn't matter. So you do know when I call somebody a gatekeeper. And what does that mean?
Basically, they're kind of like, now I know what you're going to talk about. They're kind of like shielding a person and deciding what can and can't happen, like, or how they communicate something to someone. Like they're basically like a shield. Yeah.
So a gatekeeper to me is like, you ever went to your doctor's office and everyone thinks your doctor should be accessible. You want to be able to talk to your doctor and tell him what's wrong with you without having to go through someone else. So you walk in the doctor's office and you stand at the number and you say, hey, what's wrong? And they go, and you don't want the whole office to hear it, but for some reason, and if you remember this old commercial from E.F. Hutton, it becomes the E.F. Hutton moment. Everybody's super quiet to hear what you're going to say, and you don't really want to say it. So you try to whisper it, and then they get on the speaker and go, oh, we got a problem with coming in here, doctor. So your information's out there anyway. So the gatekeeper keeps you from seeing the doctor because they think that they can fix your problem before you actually get to the doctor. You have gatekeepers everywhere you go. You go to certain areas, you want to talk to the manager, you have to get through the secretary first. You talk to someone else, you have to get to someone else first. You can never talk to the person directly because there's someone who thinks that they can take over. And that what you heard Gabriel with our clock. We have a clock that goes off every 15 minutes. So,
yeah, I don't know why it goes off every 15 minutes. I think that's how you have it set.
I got to figure out how to unset it because it really didn't make any noise for a long time and then just started all by itself. So anyway, back to what we're saying. So at this point, we're going to talk about gatekeepers and politics. I know we don't normally talk about politics, but this one is important. So in many aspects of the political realm we live in, every politician has a gatekeeper. The gatekeeper has names like public information officer, social media director, communications director. Their job is to funnel all the stuff that's going on so they know what's going on. But now here's where it gets a little bit interesting. Some politicians have taken the level of gatekeeping to a new level, and I use the word level twice. Because what they are doing is they are telling people that you cannot have access to a certain politician for whatever reason. Now, when you get elected into a political office, you are open to the public. You're here for the public, for the people, by the people, we the people, the whole 9 yards. But what's going on now is that a lot of politicians, with the advent of social media and everything else, they are restricting access by using a gatekeeper. And we don't know if the gatekeeper is making the rules or the politician is making the rules. But the access, and there were cases where, like, for instance, a couple weeks ago, there was a magazine in Berkeley Scanner, who were denied access to a press conference. And one of the reasons why is because the people did not like what they wrote before. And that's not how it works in this business. You cannot restrict a news organization access because you don't like what they wrote. You have to give them access. And you can say to them, hey, you wrote last time what you wrote was unfair and I didn't like it, but you have to. I'm not going to say you need to. I'm going to say you have to give them access. And you need to as well.
You just said I'm not going to say I need to.
But you need to.
You need to.
Well, because I want to say another word, but need to came out. You need to give them access. You have to give them access. That is, you can't deny it. And now what they do now is some cases, politicians will open up a social media account and don't like the questions being thrown at them and will immediately delete their social media account or will block people. That's a violation. You cannot block people on social media.
Oh, you can't?
Not if you're a politician. So what they've done is they've done a loophole, sort of. They found a way to make it their personal page. And then say, well, it's my personal page, so I can block whoever I want to. Well, that is true. It is your personal page, and you can block whoever you want to, except, you know what the exception is?
Like stalkers?
No.
Or...
If you use your personal page to put across a political message. That means that you are now making that page a political page for your, whatever you're doing, your campaign, your office, whatever you're doing. That now, the minute you start talking about politics on your social media account, whether it's personal or not, you are open up that door that says you cannot block people.
If you're a politician.
If you're a politician. It doesn't apply to anybody else unless you have a public office. And some people have been sued because of that. And people are being shadow banned because of gatekeepers. They're being denied access. Now this is going to get me. I know this isn't going to do me any better than what I did before, but I'm going to talk about an incident I had the other day, which I was going to wait till next year, but I decided no. I mean, I'm not going to soft pedal on this one. So I got a phone call about 2 weeks ago.
Any more water? When
the whole Berkeley scanner thing came out, and the phone call was from a friend of mine who works in Alameda, and they said, "Hey, guess what? Do you know who the communications director is for Pamela Price?" And I said, "No, I have no idea because I personally do not do politics as it relates to that. I didn't know, nor did I care at that point." Turns out that the person who is the communication director I worked with before. His name is Hazik Majum. We worked together. He was engineer at one point. He did tapes that came in and tapes that came out. So I knew him from when he started, and then he became a journalist, went out in the field, did stories. And I was like, oh, wow. And so I called him. I still have his number. And I said, hey, what's going on? I really was calling to say, how you doing, blah, blah, blah. And then I realized this is an opportunity for me to ask him if I can have access. If he would give me access, not can I, but would he give me access to Pamela Price so we can do a one-on-one interview?
Well, just clarify to those that don't know who Pamela Price is.
Pamela Price, if you don't know who she is the district attorney. She's a controversial district attorney in Alameda County. And she's made some controversial moves, some controversial statements, things that people disagree with. Some people in media disagree with.
Is it true that could be heading for a recall?
Well, there is a recall
heading
in that direction. But again, I don't know until she's actually recalled. And that's
right.
I don't do the political spectrum of it. But I want to talk to her about, my nonprofit, Mr. Batty TV, is a nonprofit that deals with public safety. Mm-hmm. So if you are a district attorney and you are in charge of prosecuting crimes in any county, then that's part of public safety. So I thought I can get a one-on-one interview with her, talk about her policies, what she's doing.
Because they are pretty controversial.
They are to some people.
Yeah.
Some people think she's going the right direction. So, and you're right, Felix, serving the people is the most important part of this job. And we vote for the people so they can serve the people, not serve themselves. So upon talking to Hazik, we had a long conversation before I got to that point. And then I finally asked him, he said, well, didn't you write something negative about Pamela Price a while back? And I said, no, I don't remember writing anything. And I probably said, no, I didn't because I don't do politics. And I said, but I mean, if I can have access to it, it'd be great. He goes, well, I think you did. But, and so I just let it go. I figured he'll just You do what you do. You say, okay, I'll set you up an appointment. You can come meet with her. We can all talk. Well, about 10 minutes later, maybe a half an hour later after I hung up with him, I get a text message. And in the text message is a picture of the actual tweet that I made. He went back to find it. I didn't even know what it was. And it was about when her laptop was stolen.
Mm-hmm.
And it said, I guess someone didn't give Pamela Price the memo. And I wrote, you are fired, basically. Because anybody
not that she's fired.
Not that she's fired. The person who didn't give the memo is fired.
Yeah,
you're fired. But they took it as I was saying she was fired. And so I responded back, well, I don't take back what I wrote. You know, my whole job has been, and I use the word shtick. My whole shtick has been to talk about people not to leave things in your car. Safety first. Don't leave things in your car, especially.
Don't become a target, basically.
Yeah, especially if you have a computer that has everybody's criminal records on them. That is like the big thing.
Public information.
Right. So he responded back with that. I responded back saying, I don't take it back. And I said to him, we were both journalists. And I actually taught him a lot of stuff. She told me, he says, well, you taught me stuff. Other people taught me stuff. Everybody taught me stuff. Okay, fair enough. And then I said, well, since we're going down and searching for what I said about Pamela, I sent him another one. I said, don't forget this one, which was the one where she went on record and said that, and this was an interview, that her job is not to control crime. And I said in my tweet, as my response to the tweet, which was shared by a lot of people, that said, if you believe that, then you absolutely have you're in the wrong profession. Because there is a correlation between the wrong
title.
There's a direct correlation with crime and prosecution of crimes. Because if you prosecute crimes and people know that these crimes are being prosecuted, you will start to lower crime rates because people know that there's a prosecution. If people are committing crimes and getting off the hook, they're going to tell their friends and they're going to tell their friends. And then before you know it, you've got everybody committing crimes. Now, the crime in Oakland is not her fault. I get that. That was before this happened when during COVID, everything got out of hand. But you can't unring a bell. Right now, during her watch, it is a lot of crime right now.
And one of the controversial ones was the little boy that was killed, right?
Yes.
While he was in the car.
Yes.
And with and it involved a car-to-car shooting.
Right? And they've had many car-to-car shootings over on the 580 corridor, the 880 corridor, the 80 corridor. There's been shootings. And usually, the strange is how the bullets always seem to find innocent victims.
I know there was I think a 4 or 5 year old girl who also died. Yeah.
So yes, you're right, Dave. Man, there are some Chesa Boudin similarities. Some people call her Chesa Boudin 2.0.
I saw a picture of both of them on social media. I think it was photoshopped, but it was a picture of both of them together.
Yeah.
I think it was photoshopped though, and I really take things I see on social media with a grain of salt.
So just so you guys know, Hazik Majoun and I worked at Cron 4 together, and he did the tapes at Cron, and then he graduated, so to speak, and became a VJ. And he would go out and learn how to be a VJ, and I actually would give him some tips. I mean, I wasn't the best VJ either, but I was learning and he learned, so we helped each other out. He's been doing it for, he said, 20 years now, which is probably not true because I've been at Cron for over 25 years. Well, I was there for 20 years and I left. So,
no, I think he was at Cron for 20 years.
Yeah,
right?
But he wasn't a reporter for 20 years.
Oh.
Anyway, so he never responded back to my text, which basically means I don't have access, which is, again, once you deny access to a journalist, I'm a journalist, right?
Yeah, last time I checked.
All right. So once then you're violating a whole bunch of different rules and I'm just
saying.
Well,
is it possible that he's leaving you hanging so that he can find out?
No. I'm under impression, and I've talked to other people that they've also been denied access because they said something that she did not like. Now, is he the gatekeeper? Now, here's why I'm wondering: is it Pamela Price that's keeping me out?
Oh, your hands are cold.
Is it Pamela Price keeping me out, or is it Hazik? So the question is, which one is it? Mm-hmm. Well, remember when we went to Hayward, we had that event? Her bodyguard, I knew him. He worked for Richmond PD for a while. He said, Stanley, how you doing? And he goes, hey, what's up? And he looks at Pamela and goes, hey, this is Stanley. You know Stanley? She goes, I never heard him before. So I find it hard to believe that she actually said, "Don't let Stanley talk to me," because she didn't even know I existed. So I do believe that it's a situation of being a gatekeeper, where you're denying access to people based on the fact that they don't fit your agenda. Now, let's be clear about this. As a journalist and anybody in the news business, journalists, even if you don't like what they write, you still should talk to them. You can't look for people that are aligned with your philosophy and your vision only, because that's not how news is. That's basically being a puppet for someone if you'll go to someone who's aligned with their stuff and their stuff only. So this is not cool across the board. If you're a journalist and you're denied access by any way, shape, or form by someone in public office, then you should look and find out what your actions you can take, because it needs to be reported. So I'm telling you now that if you've ever had that happen to you, that's important that you take action as soon as possible. Get the word out there. Let people know that this person denied you access. They blocked you. Politicians cannot block you. But then at the same time, you can say you have the right to free speech, but don't be, I don't want to use the word don't be a dick, but don't be a dick.
What you mean as a journalist?
No, anybody talking to someone, don't be rude about it.
Well, don't badmouth someone.
Yeah,
I think, and this is just going to be my opinion. I get it. Hazik has a job, right? But I think at the same time that your tweet, the way that I read your tweet, and this is not just because I'm with you or because I know who you are, but the way that I read your tweet was you weren't bad mouthing her or being negative about her at all. You're pretty much just stating like
I'm saying the fact.
A point, like a fact that like, okay, well, first of all, if she left her laptop in the car, like this is, but you do have a little bit of humor though. So like the way you do say.
Well, remember though, Twitter doesn't have inflection.
No, it doesn't have inflection.
So,
but I know you. That's why I know that like.
But if you're angry, every tweet you get is going to be angry tweets.
Right. But my point is I don't, in my opinion, do not think that those tweets, the one that he sent you and the one that you sent him, I don't think that they were in any kind of way negative. And I don't think they made her look bad. What I think might have made her look bad was her original tweet that you commented on, for her to say that, for her to say that crime isn't her responsibility.
Yeah. So let me pause for a second. If you want to chime in and you're on Twitter, you can log into www.twitch.tv/MrBadleyTV, and you can participate in the chat. Because if you're on Twitter, you cannot comment. If you're on LinkedIn, you can comment. YouTube, you can comment. Facebook, you can comment, but you cannot on Twitter. They don't have that set up yet.
Oh.
But yeah, you saw that?
You like hit it,
yeah,
and then it started doing that.
So
yeah.
We're getting a buzz in our audio. I think.
Amy's here.
Hi, Amy.
Hi, Amy. Yes, we're on Twitch.
So the important part is, someone wrote, "Thank you for upholding the dying art of real journalism in this great country." And you're right. The art of journalism has I won't say it died. There are a lot of really good journalists out there that are trying to do a good job, but it's really hard because they're overshadowed by people who are doing bad jobs. There are people who are taking opinion journalism and making it into real daily journalism. And of course, you know that. And
you put your phone on silent, though?
You know what that means, right?
I don't know.
That they defeated it. Look at the name.
Yeah, you probably have to put it on silent too.
I did.
So it
well,
that happens at least once a month?
No, every time we do a podcast, someone tries to call us right in the middle of our podcast because they think they can get through. And they would think, "Oh, I'm going to pop up on their thing and it's going to be live." No, you're not going to pop up, and we're not going to take a call. So don't even try it. If you want to leave a message after the beep, you're welcome to do it. So that's going to. So it's funny that these new Apple phones have a new way of silencing now. You can't just do it the old-fashioned way. So there we go. Oh, nope, still there. Hold on.
You just hold it. You just have to press it. Yeah. And it switches to silent.
All right, thank you. All right, so hello, Amy.
I love it. Lord Breeze is like, your TV's on fire.
Yeah.
Yes, Amy, we miss you too.
I know. How you been, Amy?
We got to get together.
Oh, you're using slobs to do the multi-stream? What the heck is a slob?
I have no idea.
No idea. All right. I don't know what slobs are. We know a few slobs, but
Amy, we have no idea. I don't know what slobs are. You're probably not speaking my language.
maybe that's SLOBS. I don't know. Slow, low. We're using Restream. Oh, so you tried to write Restream, it came out slobs? Oh, Streamlabs, OBS. No, we're using Restream, but thank you. So that was it. I don't think I'm ever going to get access to her. I mean, I thought I want to ask her some tough questions as it relates to public safety. But if you can't get past the gatekeeper, then I can't never tell the story. You can never tell the story if you're not given permission. And I can't, I love to try to ambush her. That just ends up looking like they turn it around and make it like you're the
bad guy.
You're the bad guy for, because, and not knowing the story that came around it. Because that's why people, and this is not just me, people from Channel 7 have been denied access. Other places have been back and forth where they won't talk to them at all. And these are like.
Are you talking primarily about her or
Yeah,
other politicians?
No, I'm talking about her
well?
in particular because she's been the forefront of denying access to journalists.
Oh.
Because they don't speak, they don't coddle her, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
They want to get the truth.
And why do you think that is?
Well, because, sometimes it's hard to talk about the truth. And if the truth makes you look bad, it's even harder to talk about.
And so you don't think she wants to look bad is why maybe she's doing that?
Yep.
Jasper
Wu really got me upset. Yeah.
Jasper Wu's who I was referring to with that case. I remember that was like one. I think that was like one of the first cases that she had, right?
Gabriel, why are you switching around different channels to find out what works and what doesn't work? Because now he's on Twitch. It doesn't work on this channel. What doesn't work on that channel? Gabriel's been switching around different channels to see what works and what doesn't.
Amy says, I stream on Twitch, thinking of starting a multi-stream for YouTube, so had to ask. Yeah, that would be really cool. What do you stream, Amy?
I don't think she can answer. You have to wait 8 seconds for her to write it.
Okay.
And then another 8 seconds for her to figure it out what she was trying to write. And then another 8 seconds for it to come back for us to disseminate it. So that's what we ought to get by then.
That's 24 seconds, babe.
Yeah, that's almost a half a minute.
Okay.
What?
So anyways, keep going.
So that's it. Moving on now. I'm getting off that. You guys are freaking cute. Thank you. So moving on, but I just want to make this perfectly clear that gatekeepers should not be a thing. I mean, I get it. There's a certain level of gatekeeping where you can schedule stuff. Mm-hmm. And you can say, well, she's available this day, or this day, but you cannot. You absolutely cannot deny access. Well, okay, let me take that back.
You can.
You can do whatever you want to do,
right, but
you shouldn't do it. I just filmed the video and posted it here on YouTube. The city feels I'm shaming politicians. The camera doesn't lie. Yeah, it's a funny thing about when I first started doing people behaving badly, I got so much hate. I got hate from police. I got hate from politicians.
From your average everyday citizen.
And the hate was not because and with the police from the beginning, they thought that I was trying to embarrass by showing, and it was only one agency. It was San Francisco Police Department. Mm-hmm. They came to me and said, "What are you doing? Why are you trying to make us look bad?"
Was it the peeing?
It was drug sales and union schools.
Oh yeah.
So I literally got a phone call and says, "Why are you trying to make us look bad?" And I said, "I don't know what you're talking about." "Well, you're showing the drug deal like we're not doing our job." I said, "No, I never said that. I'm showing people what to be aware of and how not to get caught up in that. And that's not a ding against law enforcement." And just like even when I went to Arizona.
You took that personal.
Yeah, some people, I went to Arizona and I tried to, some agencies in Arizona were really receptive to me coming there. DPS, they were happy I showed up. Phoenix PD, they were happy I showed up. Goodyear PD was happy I showed up. Glendale was happy I showed up. But then Scottsdale told me to go do something that if I could do it, I'd let the house. True words. And another one that told me they weren't interested was surprise.
Oh, surprise PD.
They didn't want nothing to do with this. They said, nope, never, not going to happen. So, and Tempe was right in the was like, it's a wobbler. Mm-hmm. They wouldn't let me ride with them, but they would show up if I were doing something. Mm-hmm. So there you go. But now out here, And so, it's funny because my daughter said, she goes, "Oh, Dad, you don't know every cop." No, I don't actually know every cop, but a lot of them know me. And then I meet cops who don't know me. Remember the time we saw
That's
one
really
cop?
funny.
Yeah.
When they don't know you.
They're like, "I don't know, who are you?" I'm like, "I'm nobody. I'll just ask a question. Never mind." And even in agencies where I know majority of the cops, there are a few that I just don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know them. I mean, they don't know me, and I'm just another guy. So I don't get preferential treatment from anybody. I'm just a guy with a camera. And the people who know my work, though, they respect the work I've done. But I remember the funny story, and I've told this probably before. I was getting a cheesesteak in San Francisco, and I
Oh
walked
yeah.
into a cheesesteak shop on the Visadero, and there was a San Francisco PD officer reading the paper, eating lunch, and he sees me walk in, and he looks at me, and he stares at me, and he goes, "I'm gonna move my car right now." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm just coming to get a sandwich." He's like, "Oh," and so he got to move his car. I didn't even know where his car was parked at, but apparently it was parked somewhere where it shouldn't be parked because he was immediately said, "I'm going to move it right now." I didn't even know he parked illegally. Didn't care he parked illegally at that moment. I was just want to get some lunch.
But I always think that's so funny because whenever you go somewhere or like, and I'm with you, people automatically think that you're working, that you're doing some sort of story. Like you can't just go to the grocery store to get groceries, or you just can't go to the mall to shop, right? People think that like if you're in those places, you're actually working and catching someone behaving badly.
Yeah, I don't. My whole focus in life is not to catch people doing stuff wrong. As
People
Gary,
think it is
as
though.
Gary used to say, I won't say it's your shtick because it's something I've always been proud of is that there are rules and of course some people are like, well, other people break the rules, so then we should be able to break the rules too. For example, all the shoplifting. People are like, oh yeah, well they have insurance. Why do we care? But now we're seeing the side effect of that. And even the self checkouts are closing.
It's Safeway.
Not just Safeway,
Oh.
Target. They're getting rid of
Oh,
all
the
the stuff.
Target ones are closing too.
They're
Oh,
getting-
so when you were telling that worker the other day,
Yep.
oh, I thought you were just talking about Safeway. I wonder if the one at Sprouts are gonna close.
Well, we don't know. I just know that they first started the thing in the Bay Area. You could actually buy liquor through self checkout.
Oh.
But then they found out that minors were driving the liquor through self checkout, and there was no way to control that. So they changed it. You can now remember in Arizona.
Well, don't they like they when you do it though, they scan. There's a light and it calls someone to come over so that you can check your ID.
Now.
Oh.
But at first,
it wasn't always like that.
Well, no one realized that the side effect of self checkout was that, and you know the joke I always have when I go to Costco. Hey, can I go use your break room? Well, why? Well, I'm checking out, so I must work here. You know, the guy laughed. Haha, go back there, enjoy yourself. Eat. Can I eat somebody's lunch? No. So in Arizona, you can check out with alcohol.
At Costco or any
almost every liquor store.
Yeah, I was gonna say because we used to do that.
Yes.
But it would just have a light that flashed, and then
they'll come by and check your ID.
And you have to check your ID.
Right.
Well, but they come over and see you, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah.
They just scan the thing and let you go.
But here in California, you cannot check out.
I didn't realize that. You're right. That was Arizona where we did that. Yeah.
So now let's go backwards, even further back before checkout became a thing. So self-checkout was like news media going to VJs. They were trying to find a way to save money because union workers were getting paid, their union wages, and they decided to come up with a way to cut down on employees. So it all became the bottom line. So how can the shareholders get more money? Oh, well, we cut employees and let the people do it themselves.
It's always about getting money.
I'll save money.
Yeah.
I love it. Let's do it. So they started setting up self-checkout.
Always consequences, though, for those
For every action, there is a reaction.
So do you think because some places have self-checkout now, and, they thought, oh, yeah, we're saving money. From all the stuff that's stolen, what do you think? You think they lost some of that money that they were trying to save?
Well, they lost a lot of money in stolen stuff because I've watched people walk in, fake scan, and then walk out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we saw someone at Target.
Yes, fake scan and walk out. And I go, wow.
I always love it too because sometimes I feel like the workers there, not Target specifically, but just the workers watching at self-checkouts in certain stores are always watching the wrong people.
Yes.
I always feel that because you're standing there and maybe you're watching me or you're watching the person next to me, and in reality it's the person like behind, or like it's not the person they're looking at, and these people get away with it.
And you know who suffers the most? Let's be realistic.
Who suffers most? I'm waiting for you to answer.
The people in, and I think Jeanette even said it, in inner city neighborhoods. Because first of all, it starts off with the thefts, and then it gets to the point where, remember Fresh and Green, or what it was called?
Fresh. No, it's like not Fresh Choice. It's Fresh and Easy.
Fresh and Easy.
Yeah.
They put a Fresh and Easy
in Bayview.
Yeah. And they were being ripped off so bad.
Yeah.
They shut it down.
Yeah.
Remember Amazon? There was a store that didn't have any workers.
You mean the 4-star work?
No, they had one in San Francisco where you go in and you just scan and will pay as you walk out.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, yeah, all they had was a security guard.
Oh.
That closed down. Didn't last. They went in and just ripped it apart. And the crazy part is, you think, well, they're selling ice cream now. Ice cream is a hot commodity for. They have to chain up ice creams to the point where Walgreens told their management to take the chains off because it looks bad.
Well, and this just goes back to the whole thing of, if you are in charge of prosecuting and you actually crack down on crimes, people will know that they can't keep getting away with this because there are severe consequences. But when you don't enforce these laws or these consequences, or you change the laws and these people think that they can get away with it, then guess what?
Now let's flip the script for a second. I'm doing my hand like this for a reason. One of the reasons, another problem that we have is that some of the corporations are underpaying their employees. So then they get busted and they have to pay back fines. But in the process, these employees are not getting paid enough to do the work they're doing, because they want to keep money for themselves, for the shareholders. So there's thievery on both sides.
I'm not sure. I saw someone in comments on social media. Again, like I said, I take social media stuff with a grain of salt, so I haven't had a chance to look this up yet. But there was an article about Jeff Bezos and how, it was a video of him back when he started Amazon, and he had still a lot of money already, but he was driving a Honda, and was kind of talking about how even the richest people don't need the high-end stuff, right? But then someone in the comments was like, yeah, but so he drives a Honda, great, and he has all this money, but he still pays his workers crap. And I don't know what Amazon workers get paid, to be honest, and I don't know how they're treated. I'm well aware, though, they work round the clock because they even make deliveries on Sundays. Do you remember growing up and you never got packages delivered on Sundays? That was just a day that people still worked on Sundays, but that was a day where you didn't get deliveries. Now you get deliveries at Sunday. You can get deliveries at freaking 7 o'clock in the morning. It's crazy.
It's crazy to make a 1-hour delivery.
Oh, that too, yeah.
When you go online and order, I need a cheesecake, and then an hour later it's at your front door.
Right.
That's bananas.
But anyway, going back to my point, though, I don't know how much Amazon workers get paid, but when you're talking about workers and people getting underpaid and they're working really hard, and it's also that the person that's higher up or the owner or whatever can make more money, that to me, that freaking, I was gonna curse, that sucks.
I love this comment. Hold on, let me show this one. So Terrence wrote, the way you catch them misbehaving can't be matched wherever you go. And there's some, I don't know if there's truth to that, but I remember some people tried to duplicate it in different states.
Yeah, there was. The Corpus Christi, Texas guy primarily stands out to me.
Yeah, and then he got arrested for domestic violence. And remember I said to you, one of the things about behaving badly is, if you're going to go out and catch people behaving badly, you can't be behaving badly yourself.
Yeah.
You kind of have to not.
You have to follow the rules.
Yeah, you can't.
And the law.
You can't tell people don't drink alcohol and then you chug into some alcohol.
Yeah, or you can't tell people don't drink and drive and then you're drinking and driving.
Yep. Bananas on a cheesecake. Yeah.
Did you say bananas on a cheesecake?
Probably did, because if Gabriel said it, I must have. I said this is bananas on a cheesecake. I said it's bananas that you get, that they would send you a cheesecake overnight.
Yeah, no, an hour
delivery. An hour delivery.
So Jeanette says Amazon pays its drivers more than cities do transit drivers. That has added to the shortages of drivers nationwide. Huh.
Well, the problem is that as more and more things go up, the cost of living goes up every single year without doubt. The cost of food goes up
Every single
every single
year.
day without doubt.
I'm just waiting for
The
January to hit, and
electrical bills go up every year without a doubt.
but we don't get raises
But
every
your raises,
year.
when I worked for Cron, I was on the negotiation team.
Yeah.
And when we worked for Nexstar, my job was to be the negotiate a new contract. We literally started at 0.1%. And then we had to fight.
You can't even get a whole percentage.
We had to fight for 1%, and then we fight for 2%. But to give the 2%, we had to give away something. And if we got the 3%, we never really got to a full 5%. And it was always 0.1%. It wasn't like 1%.
I know.
It was like,
I'm like, you're getting a fraction of a percent.
we got a fraction of a percent. So these guys working at the station that you think out there getting buku dollars, they're negotiating contracts of a fraction of a percent.
And that's the thing too, right? You don't do it like every year. Like for me, I remember
3-year contract.
Yeah, I would have like a 2-year contract, and then we would talk about a raise.
Yeah,
so
and then we did not get anniversary bonuses.
Yeah,
no, we did not.
Well, I didn't get anniversary bonuses
we used
either.
to get Christmas bonuses. When
You know
we worked
what?
for NBC, we got Christmas bonuses.
Well, I didn't even get that. I just remember hitting my 5-year mark at CBS and getting an extra week of vacation.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
That's good.
an extra week of vacation. 5 years, you get an extra week of vacation. Then you hit the 10-year mark, they don't give you anything.
I remember when I worked for Cron, they gave me, at 5 years, I got a rock that said Cron on it. It was
like a ring?
a rock.
Oh, an actual.
An actual
Wait.
rock. Bless you.
Sorry.
Yeah, sneezing rock.
Thank you.
My 10-year anniversary.
Wait, an actual
An
rock?
actual rock that
Like
said
a pet
Cron on it.
rock?
No, like a rock. It was like clear.
And it's like
5 years of service.
Oh, okay.
10 years, they gave me a gift card for $5 to go to a place that everything in the store costs $55.
Yeah.
Never used it because I had no reason to go and take a $5 gift card. Or I love it when they give you the $5 gift card to like Starbucks. And you've been with us for 90 years. Here's a $5 gift card to Starbucks.
Yeah, that's crap.
Yeah, we got a rock. A rock. Yes, we did. We said it a rock.
Oh my gosh.
And everybody thinks, oh, you're on TV. Oh.
Yeah, it's not glamorous like
It
a
used
lot
to
of
be
people think.
It used to be glamorous a long time ago. But then as time goes on, what changed it from being glamorous to being not so glamorous?
Saving.
Shareholders.
Mm.
Shareholders, for instance, another good example. Whenever they would have negotiations and the management came in from Nashville, they were dropped off in town cars. They stayed at the Ritz-Carlton. I remember them because we had to go pick them and drop them off at the Ritz-Carlton. They would go there, the high-end hotels. And then when we go out of town for a shoot, we had to find the cheapest hotel. We had to find the cheapest gas. If we found expensive gas, we kept our own pocket. So we had to find cheap, really, like when I say cheap hotels, I mean like, not even Motel 6, cheaper than that. It had to be real cheap.
Econo Lodge?
Econo Lodge. It was, and then now people retire and they get like a watch, a Timex. Thank you for being with us for 45 years. Enjoy this watch and go home and watch it.
I don't know. I don't understand why that's like a thing. I don't understand why treating employees badly is a thing.
Okay, here's a better option. Let's say you work for a job for 25 years and everybody loves you. They love you. They're doing a great job. They treat you well. Then you have a heart attack and die.
And they replace you.
The next day, they put a job opening for you.
Yeah, of course.
You're
so replaceable. We're all replaceable.
They bring in somebody new, and then it's like, a few months later, they don't remember you used to be here anymore.
We're all replaceable.
Right.
Yeah.
They can choose you to love the world, but when you die, it's like, okay, we need to get somebody else. So that's why I say enjoy.
I've never worked at a place that appreciated me 100%. Never.
Yeah.
I've always been, to a certain extent, walked over. Like, I never was treated like, I can't think of a place where I was treated like 100% like magnificent.
Imagine having a segment on the news that people loved, people thought was great, except for the people who got caught behaving badly. I'm not saying me, I'm just saying in general. Only to be told, and you finally find an agent, which is ironic because my agent, when I first met him, said, I'll never represent you because, just not the caliber we're looking for. Mm-hmm. To, hey, I want to represent you because your work is really good. and then being told by management that you have zero. Let me get this right now. You have zero. What's what I'm looking for? You're not.
Zero. You're not worth anything.
Yeah, you have zero worth. You have zero worth to this company. Say it again. You have zero worth to this company. I remember walking along the canal in Concord, and my agent calls me, and she says, "I just talked to management, and I told them that I'm representing you now, and that can we talk about maybe getting some more money?" And I hate to tell you this, but they said you have zero worth to them, so therefore you will not get a raise. That's when I started my search for a new job, because I realized that if they have zero worth
after 20 years.
At that time it wasn't 20 years yet. It was probably 18 years. But after 18 years of work, and I have zero worth, even though I was the highest rated, they have something called a Q rating. You know what a Q rating is?
Yeah.
Q rating, you know that, producer.
Yeah.
A Q rating tells the station how much notoriety this person has. I had the highest Q rating at the station consistently. And remember the big thing on the wall that had all the social media?
Yeah. It had all of the like on air people and their social media and like how many views they were getting or how
I was number
likes.
one consistently.
He was.
But
even when we were in Arizona, we worked at different stations, he always appeared on that board number one. Like you would sometimes fluctuate like 1, 2, and 3, but you'd see number one. I'd walk by that screen and I just would smile.
So funny-ish, I had a friend at another TV station, because my station kept that shielded from me. I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah.
Until another reporter, not an anchor, I won't say reporter, "Hey, you're doing really good in the social media trending. You're always number one." I was like, "Really?" How's that? So he would start sending me
the actual
ratings every day, and every day I was either one or number two. Number two, and this went on for 2 or 3 or 4 years.
Oh, Crown didn't have those TV screens.
We didn't have them because they wanted everybody to know how good you were doing.
Yeah.
So the best way to keep people doing, when you go to a casino, you gamble, you don't know how much money you spend.
Yeah.
Because they got the windows all closed. It was like, so everybody's blocked off. So we're just grinding away.
You don't even know what time it is.
You know what time it is. Nobody knows what they're doing. I didn't know anything about Q ratings because I wasn't into that. I was just a guy who got pushed into a job that I learned to do.
Oh, thanks, Amy. She said, "OMG, I can't believe they said that. Oh, that makes me sick. You're amazing."
Well, thank you. And thank you very much, Amy. I appreciate it. So until I knew that, and I started going, wait a minute. So I'm really high up on the Q rating because they would actually, and the Q rating wasn't something that came up on the screen. They actually brought people in to do surveys.
Yeah.
And then after the survey was over, they're talking about because what they wanted to do was they wanted to figure out how to push anchors around to get more eyeballs. But it was weird because I showed up high in the Q rating. And I remember Pam Moore came and said, "Oh my goodness, you won't believe this, but you are really high up there. I mean, you're above everybody in the Q rating." And I go, "What is a Q rating?" She goes, "Oh, it's how we know and how they determine salaries for management because of how good you do." But then I heard, and so that's how it went down. It was like, you have no value. You're not worth. Until I decided to leave, and all of a sudden, then they wanted to trademark the name, so I couldn't leave. And of course, I'll say it again. They went 2 days later. It wasn't even a conversation. When you mess up at a job, they write you up. Mm-hmm. They put in writing. They give you a letter. Said, "Don't do this again. You can't do it again. We do this again. You can't do it again." Never happened. I just got my YouTube account wiped clean. My Facebook account was what do you call it? My Facebook account was not suspended. I didn't know this, but they actually talked to Facebook and told them that the videos on my Facebook page were unoriginal and that they were, so they couldn't delete the Facebook page.
So they went back.
But they made it so that I can't monetize the Facebook page. So now all you can do on Facebook for me right now is send me stars, which are little pennies.
Well, why can't you reverse that now?
I've been trying to talk to Facebook since I left, since I started Mr. Bailey Productions. And their response to me was, get a letter from Cron saying that they did that illegally, and then we will delete it.
Well, you're not getting a letter from Cron, so that's such BS.
They literally told me from Facebook that I needed to get a letter from Cron saying that they did that illegally and that they made a mistake, and then they would take it off. So then that never happened. So, which brings me back to the nonprofit now. I've been so, if you go to MrBadley.com, you'll see them there. I'm trying to create something. So I created Mr. Badley Productions, which ironically, my timing was so bad. How bad was it? That I created Mr. Badley Productions in May of 2020. Now they gave out, what do you call those things? That's when COVID was rampant.
The small business loans?
Right. No,
Oh, the
PPPs.
PPP, I forget what it stands for though.
So yeah, they gave out PPPs, but to get a PPP.
What is a PPP again?
Yeah, personal something, I don't know what it stands for.
Oh, paycheck protection program.
Yeah.
Is PPP.
So they gave out PPPs to everybody. People were getting it left and right. People who didn't even deserve it were getting it. I applied for it, but they told me because my business started in May, I didn't qualify. So I didn't get PPPs. I didn't even get, what's the thing that the government that they gave out? Remember the stimulus checks?
Yeah.
Didn't qualify.
Oh yeah, you didn't get that either.
Because I didn't qualify for stimulus checks because my current salary before I got laid off because of COVID was too much to qualify for it.
Gabriel's over here telling you when you made your business.
I know. Well, I know when I made my business,
She said
and it was actually made in May. But thank you, Gabriel. I have the paperwork from the paperwork from. Yeah, I announced it to you guys in July, but the paperwork from my Wyoming is May.
For your LLC.
And my LLC was developed in May of 2020. So thank you for telling me when I did it, but I know when I did it. And I know that because when I applied for it, they told me that I needed to be doing it in March and not in May. And then July, I started pushing it forward and doing more because I figured if I can get the stimulus, then I can jumpstart this thing. My whole thing was to jumpstart it and start doing more projects. So then I started and part of the deal with part of the problem with when I left AZ Family was the contract said that I cannot compete against them in Arizona, which means now you go, well, there's tons of states in Arizona. Actually, there's not. So the Phoenix market covers 90% of Arizona. 90%. The only other market was Tucson.
Then you weren't going to Tucson.
I wasn't going to Tucson. So the only option I had was
no offense to Tucson.
No offense to Tucson. So the only option I had was my fan base was still in the Bay Area. And I love the fact that my fan base was very faithful. They never went away. They kind of stuck around forever. And I started coming back to California to start doing ride-alongs, which I didn't get paid for. I did it on my own. I used the money that I had to go and fly back and do the ride-alongs. And I would fly in, rent a hotel, and I figured I'd, use it as business expense. And then I found out that whenever I would show up to do Caught Misbehaving, because I was able to keep the name in the Bitmoji, that Kron was flooding the market with my old videos.
Yeah.
They created a TikTok account, People Behaving Badly TikTok account. They created a People Behaving Badly Hulu account.
Oh, they did? I didn't know about the Hulu account.
Hulu account that, and it had my name, People Behaving Badly. Now, when you leave a station, you normally leave a station. You're no longer on the website.
Yeah.
I was on Kron's website for 3 years after I left.
And this is why people still thought you worked at Kron.
So when I was back shooting, I was in Redwood City, and a guy said, "Hey, I saw you on TV yesterday." I'm like, "Dude, I haven't been on TV in 3 years." So they were flooding the market. It got to the point where I'm in Arizona, and I'm going up to see the sleep doctor to make sure that I don't have sleep apnea. And I noticed that I get a Google alert that says People Behaving Badly Marathon. Now, I was set to fly back in the next day to shoot some more stuff. So they were having a People Behaving Marathon. Said all the stuff you liked about People Behaving Badly, and then people were writing, "Why is it every time he says he's coming back to town, you guys flood the market?" Well, that's how it works. And it did not end until the news director who was my boss then, who said I had no value, was fired. Right after he left, the station took down everything. Now, here's the craziest part. I talked to people who I work with, and they go, "Yeah, I knew they did you wrong." But no one spoke up about it. I was on an island by myself.
I'm sorry,
I'm
sorry that you went
through that. And then people were saying to me stuff like, "Oh, well, I heard you retired." No, I did not retire. "Oh, I heard you quit." No, I did not quit. No, I did quit. I went to the station. "Oh, I heard you retired in Arizona." And then even yesterday, somebody goes, "Are you back in the Bay?"
Oh yeah, when people when we go out now that we're back in the Bay Area and when we go out, people are like, "Oh my gosh, I thought you lived in Arizona," and it's like, "Holy moly, why? How are people not realizing this? You're so active on social media. I mean, it could be people that don't follow you on social media, but then they claim they do though, so I don't understand."
So here's something that I'm going to say this, and it's going to blow people's minds. But remember I had 8 years ago, I had what is called a cryptogenic stroke. Cryptogenic stroke means you don't know what the cause is. But I think I know what may have caused it now. And although it's probably stress, doctors think it could be stress. But I was so underpaid when I worked at crime that I couldn't afford my medication. So what I was doing was taking my medication every other day so that I could stretch it, so that I can afford to take medication. And I wonder if by taking the medication every other day, and I had to take cholesterol and blood pressure medication, was it me taking it every other day what caused me to have a stroke? I don't know, but I don't do that anymore because clearly that was, I mean, it came around the same time. So they couldn't find a reason. And remember, my blood pressure was borderline. But the news business will give you high blood pressure.
The news business is where, what was it? I think it was January of 2020 when I got in a car crash, but like several months later, I was going through a lot of stuff at my job too, and I was borderline blood pressure too. Like, so I mean, high blood pressure.
The news business will give you high blood pressure.
It will. You have to really learn how to deal with it in other ways. Like, I mean, in ways that will help change that.
Yeah. So if you're on medication and you're stressing because you can't afford it, my recommendation is don't. Find other ways to do it. And there was no.
You didn't think that there was going.
Our insurance was not the best insurance in the world. Mm-hmm. So we had poor insurance. It was okay, but we had a high deductible. We had a high copayment. We had all that stuff. So, and again, in negotiations, we couldn't get more than 0.01% each single time we were. And we would literally negotiate for 6 months and end up with maybe 0.7% over 3 years.
Oh gosh, that's crazy. It just like hurts my heart of how much you went through.
Well, you know what? I mean, everybody says they care, but
yeah.
No, let me finish. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about, the people who do care, I know who they are. I can count on the people who care. I know who they are, and they're always there. Just like I'm giving a speech for a retiring police chief, police captain, sorry. Oh, no, police chief, a commander for the Highway Patrol. I don't know, but he's up there. He's the head guy at a certain agency, and he wants me to speak at his retirement. He pulled up the other day a flyer that he remember from Mountain Mike's.
Yeah, fundraiser
to raise money since I had the stroke, which wasn't very effective because there's some people on social media right now who don't know it, but they are undermining any work I'm trying to do by saying one thing. You know what that is?
What?
That I was an NBA star.
Oh.
They think it's funny, and it's funny because I have the same name as an NBA star, Stanley Roberts.
Yeah.
But every time we post something, they go, well, why don't you tell them about your NBA career? And they think, oh, it's funny. Ha! They know that I have never had an NBA career.
Right.
And they think it's funny.
And this guy that had the NBA career probably has like a lot of money.
He has, according to the thing, his net worth is $16 million.
Yeah.
So when people look me up and look up NBA career, they go, why I want to give this guy money? He has $16 million. And they think it's funny because, what about the restaurant you owned? No, I don't know any of those things. I grew up in the bottom, and I'm still trying to climb up to the top. And I'm not asking for sympathy. I'm just asking for people to help me get my business so that it gets to where it needs to be, so that we don't have to ask anymore. So the nonprofit is allowing people to make donations. If you go to MrBaddy.com, you can see the link there for Jiffy. You can get a tax deduction from it. Number one, if you itemize. If you run a business, then that goes and helps you lower your tax rate for a business. If you don't itemize, then you just do it out of the kindness of your heart. There shouldn't be an incentive to do it. But I'm also ordered some challenge coins that if someone makes a donation of 75 or more, I'll send them a challenge coin in the mail.
Oh my gosh, those challenge coins are so cute.
They're pretty cool.
I think they're cute.
And I owe that to Ron Levine.
Yeah.
Which Ron Levine is one of my close friends. He's a retired chief that I didn't know existed until we moved to Arizona. He was a retired police chief for De Anza College.
Mm-hmm.
And we're in Arizona, and all of a sudden he reaches out to me and says, "Hey, I've been following your work forever. I love what you do." We became good friends. We've been to his house. We broke bread with him. You know, he's a good guy. You know,
him and his wife are very sweet.
Very sweet people, and the dog and everything. I even gave him the flag I had, which was a thin blue line flag, because I had nowhere to hang it. So, you know, and these are people that came out of the woodwork when I moved to Arizona. I didn't even know they existed, but they made themselves aware that, hey, I love what you do. I couldn't comment because of my job, but thank you for doing what you do. Yeah. Lord Freezer, it is hard to raise money. I see what you said. You raised $150. And you're right, I mean, meds are not cheap. And so, everything being equal, I've been trying to do the best we can what we have to work with. I lucked up and found this condo we're renting, which is great. We love it, but you know, it's Bay Area rates. It's not Arizona rates. You know, we wish we could have stayed in Arizona, but to me it was cost prohibitive to have to fly back every time I want to do a story. And because you have to pay for a rental car, hotel, and lodging. So by being back here, it eliminates those three elements. And now we're just here. We can cook. You know, I cook dinner. I've learned because of your Nourish My Heart website and stuff you do how to eat better. Although we've taught each other how to eat better.
We've taught each other how to eat better, but every now and then you want your sugary sweets.
No, every now and then I want a quarter pounder of cheese.
Oh, gross.
You hate that stuff. I don't know. I just like the flavor of the quarter pounder of cheese. But that's maybe once every 3 or 4 months. It's not like every day. And so here we are.
Your hands are really cold, Beeb.
Yeah, warm heart. Cold
Why
hands,
are
warm
your
heart.
hands so cold?
Cold
Meanwhile,
hands.
my hands are really warm.
Yeah, cold hands, warm heart.
Oh, gosh.
So, hey, you didn't say Nourish My Heart _ this time.
Oh, yeah, that's what my page is, at Nourish My Heart.
Well, the company's name is Nourish My Heart.
My
If
company's
I was giving you the
name
website,
yes.
then, or if I give you the social media accounts, it's _. If you do the website, there's no _.
This is correct. My website is nourishmyheart.net, not .com, .net.
And Gabriel, now that you fixed your GTA, will you stream again? I don't know. Right now, I mean, I'm really not playing it as much as I want to because I lost. Here's how you can lose all of your friends if you're playing.
Social media?
No.
I mean, playing
PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
Back when the election happened and Trump was elected, a lot of people got into fights over political affiliations on Yes, even PlayStation had people fighting over political affiliation to the point where they all stopped talking to each other. So the people who I hung out with, a lot of them kind of vanished away because of political affiliations.
That's crazy.
And so it has its mitigating factors across the board. And we're about to go back into another election cycle, and it's going to get really messy again.
I'll have to say this. I am glad I don't work in news
anymore. A lot of people are going to lose friendships over, that's another reason why I don't do politics, because I have fans from every spectrum of the political field. And I can't speak highly on one and talk down on another one without upsetting some people, and vice versa. And I really don't care if I upset people, but sometimes upsetting people for stuff that's not worth upsetting people for is, again, counterproductive as a journalist, because now you're grabbing opinions and pulling them up in the air and saying this is my opinion, or that are making opinions that sound like fact. If you are a journalist and you want to be a journalist, be a journalist. Don't have opinions about the news. Just report it and try to find out the facts. Sometimes the facts won't be readily available in front of you, but if you dig deep enough, things will pop. I like to shake the tree. You don't know what you're going to get until you shake the tree, and then stuff falls out. And then you realize, oh wow. Like the guy who attacked me buck naked in Castro.
Oh, gosh.
I shook the tree. Turns out he was a registered sex offender. Who would have known? right? And I wouldn't have known if he had attacked me, because then it brought my attention to find out more about this person. Turns out, dude was, he had multiple out of Fremont, I think it was. They call it 290 PC.
That's the code.
And then the part that got me was that people defended this dude. They defended him as a sex
over you.
Over me. Yeah. And it's fine. I mean, you have every right. It's your opinion. I'm not going to argue with your opinion. But they come at me because they go, well, you should have been recording him. He was out. Okay, you're out in public. You shouldn't be you stand out in public with buck naked with a beanie on. I'm supposed to ignore that?
No, buck naked with a beanie?
Yeah, so he had on with a beanie. And he stood there on the corner in Castro and just posed.
Oh, God.
So, Jeanette, I would consider you a citizen journalist because you're reporting what you see. It's important that people tell the true stories. A lot of times stories aren't being told. They're being left behind, So, my goal this year was to, at first, as long as I keep it under 50,000, my reporting for the IRS is a postcard. But once you get past 50,000, then you have to report who gives you the money. I hope at some point to raise at least 250,000. That gives me the ability to pay myself to do what I'm doing and pay the people that work with me and get more stuff done. I can't rely on social media to pay me because it's been compromised. I'll say it again. Social media has been compromised. The very same people that are against certain things are the same people that are controlling some of these agencies. And when I say controlling them, I don't mean from the top. I mean the people that are sitting at their desks pushing buttons. These are the same people. I knew that because when I did the Gotham by the Bay, which, by the way, that was funded to shoot that. They asked me to come in. They paid me. I paid security. I paid for hotel. I didn't make any money off of it because I ended up paying all the money in security just so I can not get attacked by people thinking that I raped them in prison.
Oh my gosh, I swear.
Yeah, I had a guy who actually came to me and said that he recognized me, that I raped him in prison, and that he wanted to kill me, basically. And that one of my bodyguards had to pull out
What's wrong with people?
his plasma baton and almost take his legs out because he literally kept coming at me. And this was on the corner right there by the Phoenix Hotel. I was shocked that, and people say, well, don't bring out there with a big camera. They recognize you with a big camera. They recognize me with it.
They recognize you without a camera.
With a face mask.
They recognize you and they still think you have a camera even though you have no camera.
So as we go along and we move on, my goal is I have two-tier goal. Mr. Badley TV is a nonprofit. And the nonprofit is registered with the Internal Revenue Service. You can Google it, irs.gov, look up charity search. We're legit because there's some out there that are not. I'm doing everything I can to make sure we are 100% legit because I can't be behaving badly while I'm trying to help people learn the truth about things. So if you also check with the state IRS, we're in good standing and we're still waiting for them to figure out if we can become tax exempt as well. So I thought we were. I read the paperwork wrong, but it turns out that it takes about 6 months to figure that one out. Also, in a few more weeks, we may be able to announce something really important that we would take care of. I don't want to jinx it, but I'll let you know as we do it. It's nothing to do with money. I already spent the money for this a long time ago, but it's in the process. And if it goes out, it'll be perfect. And it'll make me very happy because it gives me a little bit more ownership of what I want to do. And it'll keep people from taking what we built.
Are you talking about what I think you're talking about?
The
initials that we saw on the.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So, and the reason why I'm even trying to raise 250,000 is not because the equipment. I need to buy new cameras. My camera I have now I brought 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago.
You bought it, I think, 3 years ago.
3 years ago, and it still works fine. Don't get me wrong, but I would like to have another one just in case we have more than one crew. I need to get a rental truck so we can put the equipment in. We can't put it in the back of a car. It needs to be someplace secure. We need a little office space because we're running out of space here trying to do this.
Yeah, it's like we didn't realize we both run our own businesses. So the thing is that we have a shared space, and sometimes I end up like just going to like a coffee shop or a library to work because we can't both work in the same room at the same time because It's not big enough. But
Computers, laptops, all that stuff. GoPros, we have 4 GoPros, so we're good on the GoPro sector right now.
But the thing too is that with electronics, unfortunately, you can only use it for a certain period of time. Before then, it needs to be updated.
Yeah. So Lord Frieda said his equipment is using Windows 7. Woo!
I don't even know what Windows I've been using Apple for so long. I don't even know what Windows is on right now.
No, they're 11.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The last time I had a computer, guys, or last time I had a computer, the last time I had a PC, I was using Windows XP. Yeah. I don't know how far back that is.
That's way back.
But that was the last time I had a PC.
Right. Don't you still use Amazon? What's that thing? Amazon. What's that thing called? AOL? Dial-up?
Really? No, I don't use AOL dial-up. Amy asked a good question. Have you looked into grant funding to get closer to that goal?
I have, but I had to find some grant writers. It's one thing about starting a business that people don't realize is that you're trying to raise money, but you're being bombarded by people who want you to spend money.
That's true too. Yeah.
And LinkedIn is notorious for that. I got a business. Oh, everybody comes to you and wants you to spend money. And they want you to spend money to say they can help your business, but in actuality, it's like vitamins. Vitamins only help the people that sell the vitamins. Now, I learned that from when I had the stroke.
You learned that from your doctor.
Not my doctor, the cardiologist I had to go see, even though it wasn't a heart issue. I had to see a cardiologist. And he says, I'm taking all these vitamins. He goes, I'm going to be honest with you. He says, I'm going to be frank. Vitamins only help people that sell them.
I will have to say one thing about that.
No, go ahead.
I have to say one thing about that. And it's not specifically to vitamins, but it is to supplements. There are some people that get all the nutrients they need through their diet, or most of the nutrients they need through diet. There are some people that don't get enough nutrients. They don't get enough of certain vitamins. They don't get enough of certain minerals, right? But so sometimes supplementation is necessary until they can get on the track. Think about it this way. Majority of the people in this country have a standard American diet and don't get the nutrients they need. But they also take crappy vitamins because a lot of vitamins out there have fillers. So it's about finding quality supplements as well. So I don't think supplements are a bad thing at all. I really do think that food is the most important, but what you can't get from food, you should get through supplementation. So don't diss vitamins.
I'm just telling you what.
At least you can diss conventional vitamins.
So, Lord Frieza, no, we don't know when the ad breaks come up. I don't even know what they're showing. We don't even know it. I just know that there's an ad break, and you guys tell me that
there's an ad break on us live. I thought it was after we post this.
It says break for ad break. Did you know we didn't push a button?
That's weird.
We never see
going
the ad
on
break.
80 minutes.
I know. No, it's an hour and 20 minutes. Yes.
That's 80 minutes.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Remember the time we had 2 hours?
Yeah, we're not doing that.
You know why though? We had the toasty fire back here.
We're not doing 2 hours tonight, guys.
All right.
Sorry.
Now Gabriel says there was no ad break, so I don't know.
Oh, the Cowboys won, by the way.
Yay! That means 49ers. 49ers are in first place.
Eagles, Cowboys, and the 49ers are all 10-3 right now.
Yep. But because the Eagles lost at home when they played the 49ers, they took a bigger dip. So the 49ers are in first place. I'm still a Steelers fan, just for the record. But thanks for. But I'm showing some support.
Thanks for being supportive.
Yes, thank you very much. So it's funny, and I'm going to say this. We're going to lock off.
The Cowboys beat the Eagles.
When I noticed that when I start talking about, I watch the numbers here. When I start talking about how we're trying to raise money, the numbers start dropping because people don't want to care about that.
Oh no!
They literally drop when you say I'm trying to raise money. I just want to hear free stuff, and that's what's wrong with the world today. Is that everybody wants stuff for free.
Oh, that's what happens with my nutritional advice. That's why that's why I stopped being active on Instagram and Twitter when it came to nutrition. Mostly Instagram because I wasn't never really big on Twitter. But I stopped being because everyone would get in my DMs and ask me for more free information, and I'm like, I mean, this is my job now.
Yeah. So people want, and I blame that again on a lot of these companies like Google and all the Facebook. They give away everything for free. They give it away because you're actually paying with your personal information.
Yeah.
And they're making tons off your personal information. They're making clearly. How they're making a lot of money? How do you think Facebook almost made their own city in is it Menlo Park? Go down there and drive down there by Meadow Way. They have their own street. They got like 16 buildings. Where do you think that money came from?
Us.
Yeah, it came from not because you gave them money. No, you didn't give them a dime. But your personal information is being used to sell products and ads. And people use that stuff and they pay for it. They pay big bucks. And so the companies are building and building and building and building off of your information.
Well, I'm not even that active on Facebook.
Yeah, East Menlo Park. Thank you. But if you go down there, you're driving down that main drag. Oh my God, there's like huge buildings. All of it fake, all of it Meta.
I know, we were just driving by that area.
Yep. 60-yard field goal, Facebook user. Interesting. Oh, someone made a 50-yard field goal? Wow.
Oh, Facebook user said that?
Yeah, this says Facebook user. It doesn't have a name to it. So wherever you are, Facebook user, thank you for that information.
And Amy, I read your comment. Cool. I will look out for those links. Thank you very much.
So, yeah. So Gabriel said about the rotisserie chicken. So we learned about that. About the chemicals in it.
Just look at the ingredients, dude. The ingredients are whoa.
Yeah.
I mean, my one thing too is I just tell people just look at if it's not an apple, if it's not like a fruit or a vegetable, which is a whole food, if it's something that has a nutrition label on it, look at the ingredients.
So it's funny because we used to buy that chicken.
I'm mad that Gabriel said rotisserie because
I
that's
always
what you
say.
Rotisserie.
No, that's fine. That's just my Philadelphia.
And the thing is, I'm just gonna say this one thing because I know people came at you on social media. I'm just gonna say this one thing. When Stanley says that he eats something or he doesn't eat something or he eats a certain way, he is not telling you that you should do the same. What he's telling you is over the years of what he's learned, and this is how he eats now. And he's not saying this is how you should eat. So for all the people that came at him and tried to make it personal and say, well, I can't afford this or people can't afford that. No one is talking about what you can't and can't afford. He's just talking about what he prefers to eat now and why. So I didn't respond to it because again, it's not worth my energy, but I just had to say that piece because I think that if I were to do that, people wouldn't come at me like that. But because it's you that says it, people come at you. And that's one of the things that I find very irritating is that people will come at you regardless of what you say and make it seem like you're out there to get people or you're the bad guy.
And just to be fair.
And then you're talking about freaking food.
We see that chicken all the time.
Oh, yeah. We used to eat that chicken all the time before we knew. Yeah.
I would grab a tortilla and just eat the chicken with the tortilla. Wrap it up and just, I was like, oh, this is good. And I didn't even know it. Someone said to me, do you know what's in that chicken? I go, no, it's good, whatever it is. I mean, they put it in the oven, they wrap it around, and it gets hot, and they eat it, they give it back to you. It's cooked. No, they actually add chemicals to make it taste better.
Well, that's a lot of the sugary foods too. You guys, sugar is addicting. Sugar is made to be addicting. Why do you think it's so easy to eat so many sugary foods? It's meant to be addicting. But people also should understand that sugar depletes the nutrients that you should be absorbing in your body. So, I mean, I know I'm getting all nutritional stuff.
No, it's fine.
But I mean, I'm just saying that I think once people start to really understand, they can make better choices for themselves. So that's what you were talking about. You started to understand, you started making better choices. But that it's no indication that you're trying to tell people what they should and should not do. I mean, I can tell people what they should and should not do, but it's ultimately up to them. That's why I have people come to me that want help. I don't go out there and tell you what to do because it's your choice.
Yeah. Isn't that the high fructose corn syrup? Isn't that the high fructose corn syrup? Oh, that was something else. So it's funny.
High fructose corn syrup is a synthetic sugar. It's basically refined sugar. Sugar itself, when consumed too much, can deplete nutrients and weaken the immune system. So, for example, if you are not feeling well, or let's say you had less sleep or something, and you decide to eat sugary foods, your immune system will weaken because your immune system is susceptible. It's depleting the nutrients that would make your immune system stronger. It's all connected, by the way, because the digestive system is connected to the immune system.
Everything, it's all connected.
It's all connected. 70% of the digestive system is in the immune system. So
actually, the digestion of your food begins in the brain.
It does. It does begin in the brain, not in your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to know more about that? Send me a DM.
That's right. Well, would that be free?
Yeah, but it's stuff I've already talked about, though.
I just give you grief.
Yeah, I mean, how can they raise, process, cook, and deliver chicken for $5 without doing something sketchy, right?
Well, I don't want to use the word sketchy because I actually like Costco.
I mean, I do like Costco too. Okay, here's the thing with like most of our food, you guys. Like, if you just look, a lot of the stuff that tends to be cheaper does have additives and plenty of ingredients we don't need. But think about it too. Like if you go out and buy fruit and vegetables, these are also inexpensive and they're whole foods, meaning there's just one ingredient, the food itself, and you can put your own seasoning on it and you can cook it. But we live in a society where everything just needs to come easy and it's instant gratification. So people sometimes don't want to take the time to cook anymore. And I won't bash that. I like to eat out too. What? I like to eat out too.
I got your finger because I wanted to grab your attention. So Felix, I saw your post and I'm not ignoring it.
Mm.
So he asked a question: is it true that Mexican Coke is better because of cane sugar? And the actual truth is, it's better than high fructose.
Yeah.
But if you're drinking 4 or 5 imported Cokes, I like to call them, then the sugar content. You should look at the sugar content. Here's a good example, and then we're going to wrap this puppy up. As I say, this bad puppy up. Who drinks? Show of hands. Who drinks Monsters? Now, I'm not talking about whether they're good for you or bad for you. Who drinks Monsters? And I do.
I do not.
But when do I drink them? When do I drink them? Come on, you know.
Long drives.
Long drives.
Yes.
Because I want to stay alert.
I stopped drinking energy drinks years ago.
But now, which one do I drink?
I mean, I don't have to answer that. You answer that. I'm still not happy that you drink Monsters, just FYI.
Which one do I drink?
You drink the low carb one.
Okay. The reason why I drink the low carb one because it only has 13 grams of sugar.
I mean,
as opposed to let me finish. As opposed to the main one that has something in the level of 83 grams of sugar. 83 grams versus 13 grams is a huge difference.
Right. But do you look at the ingredients?
No, I know that I drink it. I know when I drink it, it's not the best thing to have. I already know that. But you know, everything in life isn't perfect.
See, again, I say that I love to educate and I can tell people good options. Ultimately, it is that person's choice. So even I can't tell him, oh yeah, stop drinking Monsters. Look at what's in it. You know, it's up to him to decide to do that.
Remember when people used to think that Red Bull had bull urine in it? And that was a big thing.
Oh, the taurine. Yeah, the taurine.
Yeah.
Red Bull used to be my drink of choice when it came to caffeine in college. I used to have Red Bulls. And then when I used to drink alcohol, like at clubs or whatever, I would do a Red Bull and vodka.
Red Bull
vodka.
vodka.
No, I'm not doing that anymore. I do not do that anymore.
Yeah. So if you're here on Instagram, not Instagram.
Yes, William, I can bring the water to Stanley, but I can't make him drink it. Exactly. That is true. I can bring the water to him, but he has to drink it. Most of the time he does, actually.
You know where that phrase came from?
Is that a movie?
No. You know where the phrase came from?
Where?
You can take a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
Oh, okay. So now you're a horse?
No, he just played on the words of that.
Okay, yeah. So yes, I can I can bring the water to Stanley, but
good night, Reed. We're about to wrap it up too, though. We are. It's time to go. But I just want to say, if you're on LinkedIn,
ew, Red Bull and Jägermeister, gross. Jägermeister is disgusting. Well,
Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Twitch. If you're here, thank you. You can be anywhere, but you chose to spend time with us, and we appreciate that. Every Sunday we're here somewhere around 7. It's not always right at 7. It could be 7:15. It could be a little bit later. but we try to. But we do appreciate you guys are here. We love talking to you. It's always fun. We hope that we can be entertaining. Sometimes we get on our high horse and we say things that you may or may not disagree with. It's okay. We're not here for your constant approval. We're here to just kind of educate you and have a little bit of fun at the same time. We started Millennial Boom during COVID. I think the idea came from, what's that DJ? The one that used to do during COVID, he used to play every day.
Oh, DJ D Nice.
D Nice used to come on every day, during COVID and spin records. And we thought,
well, we came out like right before COVID hit.
Just before it
hit the U.S.
Yeah, but we started doing this. We thought, let's go online and let's do, let's have a podcast, just you and I. Lack of a name, I don't know. Let's go with a name. We came with Millennial Boom.
I wanted to call it Boom Millennial. Boomlennial. I wanted to call it Boomlennial.
Will you have a show on the 24th and the 31st? Probably not.
Probably not.
I'm not going to lie and say we will, but we never know. We may pop in.
Probably not. But we may pop in.
We may pop in. We don't know yet. Don't, I mean, most people are going to be out with their families. They're not going to want to sit around and hear us chitter chatter. Here's a win for the rest of us. Stanley, stop with the good looking.
I know,
haircut.
right? Isn't he hot?
Yeah, I am. I need to take this off. It's so hot.
He's so handsome.
I have to give.
With
Okay.
his bald head.
Just to be fair,
You're so handsome.
I have to give a speech tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
This whole month has been full of me giving speeches at different locations.
So
tomorrow I have to give a speech in Belmont.
You're so handsome.
I'm looking forward to it. And I know some of them are listening right now. It's the Rotary Club. They invited me to their thing to speak. I can't wait to go. It'll be fun. And so I got all nice and dolled up. And then I'll put on some holy jeans and a shirt with a rip in it. I'm just kidding. But we do appreciate you being here. And then you got to go to bed. In some places, the East Coast. Some places are in Europe.
Yes, thanks for sticking around.
I
with
think
us,
D-Man
guys.
is in. I think D-Man is in the UK. So what time is it in the UK?
Oh gosh, I don't even know. I think it's an 8-hour difference.
Alexa, what time is it in the UK?
Thanks for about your time with Kron, Culver City TV, former KTLA for 10 years.
Who?
Facebook user says, thanks for the about your time with Kron, Culver City TV, former KTLA for 10 years.
I might know you then. Maybe, maybe not. I worked for KTLA. I worked at KTLA in the early 90s.
I didn't work for KTLA, but I interviewed at KTLA in 2012.
I was with Warren Wilson back then, and we were supposed to go to lunch. And this is banding comedy. This is a true story. In our contract, if we were going to lunch and we're out in the field, we had 15 minutes to find a place to eat at before we start our hour lunch.
Mm-hmm.
So we were in-house. We weren't out on a shoot. We were there in case something broke. And Warren Wilson goes to the assignment desk and says, hey, assignment desk says, hey, you guys should go to lunch now. So then Warren says, okay, we'll give us 15 minutes to find a place to eat, and then we'll start our lunch. And the person at the assignment desk goes, no, when you're working in-house, your lunch starts immediately. And then Warren looked at him and says, okay, then I'll just fall on the floor and start eating.
And ever since then, he has been using the line, fall on the floor and do this, fall on the floor and do that.
That was the best comment, the best line ever. It was somebody said, oh, so you want me to fall on the floor and just start, like Diane wants me to vacuum the floor. And like, so you want me to fall on the floor and just start vacuuming? Come on. I'm sitting here. I'm enjoying a nice cup of coffee. Let me enjoy my coffee first.
Why you always gotta throw me under the bus?
Because I'll drive that bus every chance I get. Warren Wilson was a pioneer. Yes, he was. You know who else I worked with? Stan. I love Stanley. He was a great reporter.
Stanley. Not you?
No, a different Stan. Stan, I can't think of his last name right now to save my life, but I have pictures of him and I. Mary Grady and I were actually I think we worked at CBS at the time, I think. She was a freelancer, and we covered the North Hollywood shootout where I got nominated for an Emmy for it. Make you more warm during cold weather? No, it doesn't. Yeah, Stan Chambers. Love Stan Chambers.
Oh, I remember that name.
He was one of the. He reminds me of the Greg Lyons of Bay Area News. Very and I just so you know, a lot of my style came from Greg Lyons and Vic Lee and what was the other reporter? The woman, what's her name? Linda Yee. Those are where I got my inspiration from, because Greg Lyons, him and I went out to natural bridges and did the story about
the
the
butterfly.
butterflies.
Yeah.
And his writing was so eloquent. I mean, he would just write to the video, and it was just the best writing I've ever seen in my life. I loved working with this guy because he was good, he was efficient, and he knew what he was doing. And I always said to myself, I've worked with some reporters, and I go, you know what, I can do better than this. This is terrible. How did I even get a job? You know? So I owe that to like the Stan Chambers, the Warren Wilsons. I remember with Warren Wilson, we were heading to a plane crash in Santa Monica, and I literally was on the 10 freeway at 110 miles an hour trying to get to this thing. And I know I shouldn't have been going that fast. In a big giant news van, flash my lights because I'm excited. I want to get there. And he goes, oh God, whatever you do, don't crash. Whatever you do, just don't crash. And I say that now too. Whatever you do, don't crash. But I want to get to that plane crash. I want to be one of the first ones to arrive. And that was in my younger days when you didn't know any better. You know, I did Cops, LAPD TV series, the Menendez trial. My first story, you know, my first story was in California, in LA. You know, my first story was.
No, you're gonna tell me.
Yeah, Rick James. And he got arrested in North Hollywood.
Oh gosh, really?
Yeah, he beat up his girlfriend and burned her with a crack pipe. That was
Holy
my
moly.
very first story as a photographer was at the North Hollywood police station. I've done a lot. I love it.
You've done a lot.
Yes, I have. Anyway, guys, we really miss you guys. We thank you for being with us. And what's next week?
The 17th.
So we'll be back next week. Not guaranteed Christmas. Not guaranteed New Year's.
Not guaranteed Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve.
And New Year's Eve rest.
Yeah.
Right. So there you go. Firestorms. Yes. I got. I remember that. I got Emmy nomination for the Malibu Firestorms. And they're back here on the shelf. You can't see it anymore. Good old days. So thank you again. And remember, TV people, if you're there, be safe out there. And if you're not doing TV, watch it with a grain of salt. Know the difference between real news and opinion news. And don't assume the world's coming to an end because it's not. But we'll figure it out when it does. Anything you want to say?
I'm a boomer.
I'm millennial.
I'm a boomer.
And that's you sure now?
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Nothing nutritional.
Oh no, I'm okay.
You sure?
Well, the only thing nutritional is that it's 8:53 and I didn't eat dinner yet.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I usually don't like eating this late, so.
All right. Well, lucky for you, I have food prepared for you already.
Okay, thanks.
All right, guys. Hey, guys. What? No jingle bells. No jingle bells.
William, no jingle bells.
All right, here, let's sing it. Ready? Come on.
No, because we don't want to get a copyright.
No, we can't. Now if we sing it, it's fine. You ready?
Okay.
To-do.
Wait, which version are we singing?
Which one do you want to sing? Do you want to do Jingle Bell Rock?
No, I don't. Let's just do regular jingle bells.
Yeah, that's so.
I'm a boomer.
All right, you start.
Jingle bells, jingle bells. You said I can't sing, remember?
Go ahead, do it.
No, because you're not going to sing. You made me say 2 lines of jingle bells. Good night, guys. I'm mad at you. You guys, yesterday he told me I couldn't sing. I tried to sing a song to him, like a love song, and he goes, "Oh man, God, what did you say about God?"
I said, really, there's a reason why God made you.
There's a reason why God made you the way you are.
Yeah, because you couldn't sing, so you had to do something else.
And so then he said I couldn't sing, and I'm like, oh wow, that's really sad and mean.
I don't try to sing.
Oh, I just was singing you a love song.
All right, that wasn't a love song.
Yeah, it was before I. Oh, don't want to sing right now.
Before I let you go.
The Blackstreet song.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
She's like, I want to go because I'm starving, but I'm gonna keep talking.
Bye, guys. Have a great week. Stay safe. Eat healthy and nutritious food.
Oh yes, and Die Hard is a Christmas movie, and I'll fight you, Felix, if you tell me otherwise.
Oh gosh, you'll fight anyone.
Good night.
Bye, guys.
Thank you for listening to Millennial Boom with Diane Faith and Stanley Roberts. Millennial Boom and Reasons Why Aliens Will Never Invade Earth and Caught Misbehaving videos are made possible through viewer donations. Check out www.linktree.com/MrBadleyTV to see how you can help. See you next week.